So today we are going to continue with punctuation rules and how to use commas correctly. So yesterday we talked about how to use commas to join two separate sentences and thus create a compound sentence. Today we're going to talk about how to use commas to separate information in a sentence. So yesterday we talked about commas being used to join. Today we are going to learn about commas being used to separate. So underneath pattern number 1 from yesterday, you are going to now add in pattern number 2, using commas to separate introductory information. And the title of the rule kind of tells you a lot. Introductory information is information that introduces the sentence. It comes before the sentence. So looking over here at our illustration of what this would look like at our graphic, the introductory information comes before, and this information is not a complete sentence. Otherwise, this would be two sentences just like yesterday, and then it would be a compound sentence. This introductory information is going to be a clause or a phrase. It's not going to be a complete sentence. It's going to be something that opens up the sentence but is not a complete sentence. So we have that introductory information, and wherever we have that introductory information, we need to separate it with a comma from the rest of the sentence. So then you have your comma right here, and then you have the rest of the sentence, which is the full sentence, the independent clause. So you have introductory information, you have a comma right here, and then you have your complete sentence over here at the end. So this is actually a complex sentence. It's a complex sentence. It's a sentence that has an independent clause plus another clause or a phrase included in that sentence. Now, one of the most common ways to begin this type of sentence with introductory information that needs to be set off by a comma, is to begin with a comma causer. Okay? Those comma causers are as, although, after, while, when, unless, because, before, if, and since. Anytime you see a sentence begin with any of these words, you can pretty much rest assured that that sentence is going to have a comma right after that phrase. Right after that phrase that begins with any of these words. Notice my two example sentences. One begins with since, the other begins with after. If you have sentences that begin with these types of comma causers, then you know very well that there will be a comma sometime afterwards. Look at this first sentence. Since I don't like roller coasters, and you have comma, I don't enjoy going to amusement parks. Right there. That is your complete sentence right there. I don't enjoy going to amusement parks. Your comma is here. That's kind of like already right there. I'll add the comma with the purple. I've already covered it up with the red. The comma right there separates this sentence, I don't like going to amusement parks, with this introductory information. Since I don't like roller coasters, comma, I don't like going to amusement parks. Then you have this other sample sentence. After I graduate from high school, comma, I would like to go to an out-of-state college. The complete sentence is, I would like to go to an out-of-state college. The clause, the introductory clause is after I graduate from high school. So you have two sentences right here, both beginning with introductory information that has to be set off by a comma. These two sentences are complex sentences. They have introductory information, and you need to use a comma. Pattern number 3 over here is using commas to separate interrupters. Now, right here in our graphic, in our illustration, you see that the sentence, you have sentence. The last part of the sentence comes over here at the end. The sentence is actually being interrupted. It's being interrupted by some kind of information. Usually, interrupters are adjectives. Or adjective clauses. They're used to describe whatever is being talked about right here in the first part of the sentence, the subject of the sentence. That's usually what happens. So let's take a look at our examples down at the bottom. Well, before we do, let's try not to forget that interrupters, most important reason why we're studying this, is set off by commas. You need to use 2 commas to set off that interrupter, because basically you need to know where the sentence is being interrupted, which is right here, and then where it's starting again, which is right there. And then of course you end every sentence with a period. So anytime you have an interrupter in the middle, it needs to be set off by commas. You're going to have more than 1 comma involved right there. Okay, so your example sentences. A drunk guy, red-eyed and swearing, staggers onto my field. If you want to know what the complete sentence is, the simple sentence, it would be a drunk guy staggers onto my field. That is the complete sentence right there. Extra information is that the guy was red-eyed and swearing. So that's why here you need a comma to set off this extra information. The next sentence, Señora Wong ruled with an iron fist. That is the complete sentence. The extra information that needs to be set off by commas is diminutive but not fragile. So we have Señora Wong, diminutive but not fragile, ruled with an iron fist. Notice we pause even when we read it. Señora Wong, diminutive but not fragile, ruled with an iron fist. That's an interrupter. You kind of have to pause right in the middle. The next one, a drunk guy, red-eyed and swearing, staggers onto my field. See how we pause in the middle, showing that that is extra information that interrupts the sentence. This is also a complex sentence because it's more than just a simple sentence. Now, why study this type of sentence? Well, when you're writing, it's good to be able to add a variety of sentences. You don't want all your sentences to look exactly the same. If you do, your reader will become bored. Okay, nobody wants to watch the same movie over and over. No one wants to hear the same song over and over. No one wants to read the same type of sentences over and over. So you really have to vary the type of sentences you write. For now, for today's exercises, to start practicing with sentence variations, yes, you probably guessed correctly, you need to create 2 original sentences with each of these patterns. So that means you need to write 2 sentences using pattern number 2 and 2 sentences using pattern number 3. So today you're going to write a total of 4 sentences. I'm going to give you a little bit more time to write these sentences, and I'm going to walk around and check you off. At the end of the week, I need to see checked off for pattern 1, checked off for pattern 2, and checked off for pattern 3, so you can get some kind of quiz grade for all of your independent practice with these sentences. So go ahead and start creating your 2 original sentences with each of these patterns.